Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net, your choice for the conservative voice. Jeff Tucek, I want to hear what the union said to you, though, when all these things were proposed. There was something. Is there something else you want to say?
No, one more thing, and then I'm going to tell you what the union said. But give an example of this, all these different bills that are going to be proposed right now. One of them is, I got an alert from one of our Tea Parties, North Shore Tea Party, that their congressperson, or their representative, I think the last name is Blitz, said, I want you to look at our bill about giving early payoffs, you know, as an option right there. And she asked me my opinion, saying, number one, I have to see this math, because the last time that the taxpayers got early payoffs was 1995. This is Zettler's own article. We let these teachers do the buyouts. And
give them $1 million. It'd be cheap.
And here we are,
because they get way more
years
than
later. We have to see the math. We have to see what exactly we're giving them, and what are the options. So if we're going to make promises to them, we, the citizens, better understand these promises. And I don't necessarily trust what our representatives on either side. You know, we have to understand and internalize that.
Okay.
So the Republicans did very bloody little about this thing, the ones in the legislature down there.
Right.
But Madigan has been in charge.
Right.
You got to stick the guy that should have the knowledge of how fast they were running this thing into the ground.
They do, and you know what? To me, it's beyond comprehension why there aren't some class action suits on this, because I know in the private sector there would be all over the place. They would be going after the executives that weren't watching the cookie jar, right, in the behalf of the shareholders. So there'd be shareholder suits. It
would be a great initiative for the Illinois Tea Party to do.
Believe me, we've been talking about that and trying to figure out, maybe we can touch base on this. So on our previous discussion.
Well, the class action lawsuits will come when they start cutting those pensions, and they start changing.
No, we're talking about from the shareholder. We're talking about from the taxpayers this time.
From the taxpayers.
See, that's one of the problems that we have in Springfield, is most of a good portion of our politicians have been reduced to nothing more. They've been bought and paid for and reduced to union whores. And we don't have anybody, or very few people, that are actually representing the taxpayer in Springfield.
One thing that I know in the auto industry, I can't remember the year, but I remember the occurrence where some executives, I won't mention the company, got in trouble because the union was actually one that was determining the financials on it. The executives, in this case, they're elected officials. They have the responsibility. The union can tell them whatever they want, but at the end of the day, our elected officials are the ones that have to do the math and saying, okay, I can agree with that. Yeah, we know there's a lot of unbelievable pressure. But you asked me earlier about the, one last point on this. So Representative Bliss was talking about giving cash balances. So what do you taxpayers think if we just give them cash awards in lieu of their promises? I says, well, you know what? We had to consider everything, but we have to see the math. We can't. Yeah.
So then they wouldn't have to give them pensions?
When you're this heavy in debt,
there
is no magic solution to this thing. You have to cut down the obligation to pay. Who the heck ever heard of teachers, managers getting $200,000 and $300,000 a year pensions? Where did that come from?
Where did that come from?
And at age 55,
right?
You know, we're all living too damn long.
Right.
Stop saying
we
that.
have the obligation to pass out sooner in order to not embarrass these politicians.
Right.
I know my cohort, which started in 1923, in general is living 20 years longer than was planned back then. So my cohort is running the state into bankruptcy. We're just living too damn long. So the big solution that would go along with Madigan's do-nothing stuff is we'll have to kill off everybody.
Well, you know, Obama has a solution to everybody living too long. He passed Obamacare.
Yeah, well, Obamacare. My God, what that'll do.
But no, Jeff, you were saying, though, these lawmakers are coming up with all of these separate bills. And none of them are
integrated.
congruent.
Yeah, we haven't seen the master plan. I know in the corporate, where I've been through several turnarounds and bankruptcies, and at the end of the day, there's a central group that shows how all this is fitting together. So maybe there is a cash settlement over here, but then there's also got to be all the compensation practices that have got us into this trouble. They all have to be looked at, every single one of them. To Jack's point, why would we be paying teachers $200,000 or $300,000 a year?
55.
Yeah,
right.
where is that reason?
I mean, Zettler's own numbers talked about a 35% difference in any job code on teachers in any of the 3 or 4 states that we touch right here. That's wrong. That is wrong. You take any job in teaching, whether it be a math teacher, driver's ed teacher, a gym teacher, and you compare that to Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri.
How much more does Illinois get
About
paid?
35% more on average. So
take the obvious one of driving instructors. There's a lot of driving instructors as teachers.
Yes, they are.
The union wanted them in there; they can get the dues.
Yeah.
And they're making $120,000 a
Right.
year.
And you know what
instead of they could get out and make $35,000.
that's exactly right. You're going where I'm going. Let me answer the question asked by the union. So
You know what?
You
know
want
what?
to take that?
I want to hear what the union said to you. I know we keep putting this off, and this is compelling because when we talked the other day, you said it.
Yeah.
When we come back after the break, you're going to hear what the union's response was.